You are listening to the Mountainside Podcast. Joining us all the way from Miami, Florida, is the great Yuli Monster Diaz. He holds the combat sports world record for the fastest knockout in history. Yuli is an absolute savage, but above all that, outside of the ring, he's one of the most genuine and just an amazing human. I really enjoyed getting to know him during this episode. Yuli shared some of his biggest hurdles in life, and I encourage you to listen to this episode in its entirety and enjoy our conversation. Nice to meet you, man.
Great to meet you, brother.
Thanks for coming up all the way in from Miami, right?
Yes, sir.
South Florida?
South Florida, Miami, Florida, born and raised. Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate the opportunity. Great spot you got here, man.
Dude, you are combat sports royalty, so I would have had you in a heartbeat. Shout out to Chris Camozzi for setting it up. He's like, yo, you got to have my boy Yuli on.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize, like, when he had first mentioned it, I didn't realize, but I went back and watched that fight. Your fastest combat sports knockout in history.
Yes, sir.
I mean, the bell didn't even stop ringing by the time.
It was still ringing on his head by the time when he woke up.
That's dope, man. Yeah. It's incredible. Jeremy, actually, can we watch it real quick, man?
Yeah,
like get us hyped for the podcast,
absolutely,
man.
And shout out to Chris Camozzi, man. He's definitely fighting legend himself. So
man,
it's great to be friends with him, man.
He's such a good dude.
Great
too.
dude.
Yeah.
Great dude. This guy's bell still.
This is crazy, man. It's literally do not blink. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I actually made a podcast named "Don't Blink" right after
I know.
this fight.
So this was how many years ago is this?
This is November 2020.
Okay.
Right, like I guess COVID time.
Yeah.
That was my first fight since.
And this is early in the BKFC days,
yeah, this
right?
is BKFC. So I want to say 12 or 14. I'm not even sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
BK 14. Yeah. I got to do it in my hometown in front of my home people. So.
Oh damn!
Yeah, it was
that's
badass,
awesome.
yeah.
What was the venue?
Venue was the Intercontinental Miami. It's a badass hotel over there.
All right, here we go.
I made both these guys famous.
That's been the hallmark in his fighting career. Touch of hands. Round number one.
It's over.
I mean, the bell is still
I almost
resonating.
knocked
man.
myself out jumping over
I
the ropes.
know, man. So did you know at that point that it was a record? I mean, or was it after the fact?
No, after the fact, they came up to me and told me it was a record. Everybody sees this, they put 3 seconds. It was really like 1.5 seconds, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, the bell is literally still ringing.
Right. Because the referee said fight, then the bell rings, and the guy's already knocked out in the air. He's asleep before he hits the ground. But nobody sees all the hard work I put behind this, man. I study all my
100%.
opponents. Yeah, I study all my opponents. I saw this guy's bad habits. If they'll show the replay now from a great angle, as a matter of fact. But he was taller than me, and one of the things he did was when people rushed him, he'd stretch his arms out and put his chin in the air. So I go, you know what? I'm gonna rush him right off the line. Here's this replay. You'll see him.
Get to see it in slow-mo here.
Yeah. The next one is slow-mo from another angle. You'll see. He's still twitching down there and shit. Watch the next angle. The next angle's a good one. Right here. See, put this chin up in the air.
The old jab, hook.
Oh. Yeah, right there. He's already asleep. You see his eyes roll back. Hey. I almost caught him on the way down and all. So yeah, his bad habits were he'd stretch out his arms, put his chin in the air. So you know what? I'm gonna rush him immediately, and if he does that, I'm landing. And man,
Bro.
You know what? Lightning struck that day. It landed right on the button, and we made history, man. It was amazing.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
I mean, how much did that help your career?
That actually was a defining moment in my fight career. It was. I'm talking about. Probably the next day, I was getting calls from everywhere on the world. I was getting calls from France, Russia, everywhere for like interviews. I went and got myself a PR person to like try to help manage this. I did every. I remember sitting because I had to go to Dominican Republic. I was commentating on some fights, so I was in Dominican Republic, sitting in my hotel. from morning, probably for like 3 hours. Every 10 minutes, it was different radio from Connecticut to Rhode Island to like LA. It was super cool. I was on TMZ. I came out on Yahoo Sports. It was amazing, man. It was one of those moments that just really defined it. And throughout life, whether you're a fighter or whether you do podcasts or whatever you do in life, you're always thinking like, man, what's gonna be that moment that really blows this up? You know what I mean? And that was mine. That was mine. So I rode the wave for a while, and like everything else in life, especially now with the instant gratification on your phone, or you forget about shit quick. So I'm looking for my next moment, which will be my win now coming up May 10. And
well, your Instagram is awesome too.
Yeah, man.
Like
Thank
you're putting awesome content out there. You got the podcast, you got so much going on.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. Like most people don't realize all the work that goes into that before that defining moment, right? Like, and especially you guys as fighters, I have so many friends. Like I've never stepped into a ring or an octagon, or I've rolled around on some jiu-jitsu mats at a very low level.
Right.
And when I was younger, I got in some trouble street fighting and bullshit like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, I don't think people realize what the work that you actually put in.
It's an
and then
grind.
Not only that, the waiting game. Like these guys that play pro basketball or pro hockey, right?
Yeah.
Think about how long their playoff series is and how many games they get to play a year, or Major League Baseball.
That's right.
I mean, it's just constant, right?
Yeah.
Like some of that, like that sterileness of just waiting, right, has got to eat at you mentally a little bit. And it's like you guys put in so much work over performance that it's got to be the hardest sport to compete at, I would think.
I mean,
One of them
might be a biased answer because I'm a fighter, but I definitely think it's the hardest thing to do is definitely compete in combat sports. There is a lot of waiting. There's a lot of waiting between fights. For example, I fought February of 2020, and then that fight was November because COVID hit. So as soon as COVID hit, I had a ring. I mean, I had a friend that sets up rings. I called him. He came and set up a ring in my backyard. I got on Amazon, bought a bunch of shit that I needed, and just kept training. Never stopped training. I'm 43 years old.
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm 43. I turned 43 on March 14th. Man.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I turned pro at 35, which is late in life. I had a lot of bumps in the road, a long life. You know what I mean? I lived a wild life up until I started pro fighting. I like to say that professional fighting itself has saved my life. It took me away from all the shit that I was into. So I do this on a daily basis at my age, and I say more for my mental health. I need to be in the gym every day. You know what I mean? If I take a day off, I feel like shit, and I ask myself like, why didn't I? Whether it's a little run or anything, just get myself in there for a couple minutes, and I feel better about myself. So during COVID, I got the ring. I got all the stuff in my backyard. I never stopped training. At that time, this is by coincidence, my boxing coach was my backdoor neighbor. He lived on the other side of the block. So
really,
he'd walk around the block. He's he's a 60-year-old man, so he'd be training me with a mask on and shit. With the plastic shield mask. And I never stopped training. Then this fight got offered. We took the fight. We studied this guy, and I'm every fight I would see, I was like, man, this dude. Every time somebody rushes him, sticking his arms down his chin in the air. Every fight. I'm like, you know what, coach, let's practice this. It was a month of just the same move, the same shit I did. Just jab and just overhand right. And man, again, we made history. It landed, and that was my moment. Yeah,
absolutely. What is there a reason why you're not fighting for BKFC or don't own part of that by now? I mean, this put them on the map.
Yeah.
I mean, this really did put Bare Knuckle on the map. Like this was the first time that a bare knuckle clip went viral.
Yeah,
in my opinion,
it was, and it's if I'm not mistaken, I think it might be the clip with the most views on YouTube for their YouTube channel. So
we just added another one.
yeah, it was great. You know what I mean? So with BKFC, man. And you know what? I don't want to bad talk.
I'm not here to talk shit about anybody.
No, I know, but I want to tell you, I want to make it like, because they've never shown that clip on a commercial. They never played anywhere. It was for sure at least one of the top moments in bare knuckle history, especially for BKFC. Besides that, I had fight of the year with Thiago Alves, who just lost to Mike Perry this weekend, and they never show these clips. I have no idea why. between me and BKFC, we fell out. I'm signed with BYB now, which is a different bare knuckle promotion. And all I can say, just not to talk shit about anybody or throw anybody under the bus, BYB, who I'm signed with now, is straight business. What they say is what they do, and everything they've told me comes to fruition. And they've lined me up with fights, and I got movement. You know what I mean? With BKFC, it's like, man, you get frozen in time, and they promise you shit, and it never comes through. And I'm not the only guy who feels this way. There's people still fighting under BKFC flag that feel the same way, but some people are in a better position than others. Thank God I'm in a better position now. So that's why I left BKFC. And again, not only because I'm part of BYB, but I see their growth. They're coming into their 26th fight now in Denver, Colorado.
Yeah, I'm stoked for that.
They got good people behind them. They're straight business. And, if I had to put it in rankings, I'd put BKFC number one just because, more because of the production and anything. They got it like a UFC type setup.
Well, they've been at it a little bit longer.
They've been at it a little bit longer, and the way the production, their app, everything they got, it looks great. But I think BYB's on a steady, roll right behind them, and pretty soon you'll be hearing about BYB being on top.
Well, it is such an exciting sport to watch, whether you're watching BKFC or BYB. Right. It's cool that there's two competing organizations, because that's one thing that like the UFC doesn't have, right? I mean, they're kind of that conglomerate, and same with like the NFL, NBA, right?
Exactly.
Like they've been at it for so long.
Yeah.
But even the UFC uses clips from 2 or 3 years ago, or fighters, even back to UFC 1, right?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of your bread and butter, you would think.
I know. And I mean, I don't know. I have no idea why they don't use the clips. But what they do use is, like, when I lost to Thiago, they use those clips of me losing and shit. I had to watch it all weekend, which is cool. Listen, I lost to a legend. Yeah. And more than a loss, it was a lesson. You know what I mean? So, and that's life, But I'm like, man, why don't... And not even for myself. Not being like, me, to show my clip. It's not even that. Like, it was an exciting clip on your promotion. Why don't you show that shit?
Yeah, you should. It's good for everybody, right? It's a win-win-win, really.
Right.
But yeah, I think there's probably some grudges there, some bad blood, right? I guess not on your end, it sounds like. But yeah, no. So the fight coming up, how long have you been in Colorado? How's it treating you?
I've been in Colorado now, I want to say, it's been a week. I got here last Monday. So it's been a week. Colorado's amazing, man. Colorado's great. I lived here back in 15 and 16. I had a house here. My phone number's still from Denver, 303.
Hell yeah. I noticed that today when you called. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Are you... Okay, we got to dive into your background, man.
Okay, no problem.
I want to come back to fighting and what you got coming up May 10th and all that. But yeah, if we have some time, dude, I'd love to, find out about...
I'm here for you, brother.
What molds or forges a Yuri, Like...
So I'll start at the beginning, man.
Okay.
I grew up born and raised Miami, Florida. Grew up with a single mom. A single mom raised me. She's still around, thank God. She's an amazing mom.
Shout out moms.
Shout out to moms. She did the best she could raising me, but she was a single mom, so she had to... while she was working and trying to put clothes on my back and a roof over our head, I was out on the street, trying to find out what else is going on. And when I say this, I don't say this for any pity or any, too bad for him or whatever. But I never had a father figure, never had an uncle, never had a cousin, never had any male role models in my life. So my male role models and the shit I learned were from my friends and the older dudes around the block, you know what I mean? So I learned how to do the bad shit fast. And again, while my mom was working, trying to keep a house for us, I was out on the street figuring it out. Joined little gangs and stuff as a young kid. Got in a ton of fights growing up. I went to juvenile detention center as a kid. As a young man, when I turned like 23 years old, I went to prison in Florida. Did a couple years in prison for fighting on the streets. Came out. I grew up with Pitbull, the artist, the rapper, the musician. That's still my brother to this day. So when I got out of prison, he was on his way up. This is 2006. He wasn't where he's at now, but he was climbing the charts. So
he's a cool ass dude.
He's
man.
a fucking great guy. He's a great guy. He's my brother. You know what I mean? More than we've elapsed the friendship shit. We've been together since we were 11 years old, and we lived together. Awesome. Yeah, his family's my family. My family's his family. So in 2006, when I got out, he came and saw me. I got out on a Friday, and I remember I called him. Yo, I'm out. He's like, look, I'm on the road. I get back Monday. Get ready. I'm gonna go get you. Monday he comes, picks me up, takes me on a shopping spree, all new clothes. You know, I had shit from a couple years ago. I just got out of prison. So he takes me, he's like, listen, I'm going to give you the rest of May. I got out May 6, 2006. He goes, I'm going to give you the rest of May off. In June, you're on the road with me. In June, I went to Okinawa, Japan, Seoul, South Korea. I went to Milan, Italy. I went to fucking...
What year was this?
2006.
Okay.
Yeah.
I worked with him for a little bit, but it was later on, like maybe 2012. My background's rock and roll too.
No shit.
Yeah.
Shit.
And some of the shows that I did were with Pitbull. But
That's badass.
they were like Christmas tours. It was iHeartRadio type stuff. So you probably weren't around then.
No, in 2012 I was already gone. But I mean, like again, he's still my brother. I'll get to the story.
Nice
now,
guy though, man.
Amazing.
Any interaction I've had with him, he's like genuinely a real person, man. And it's like
amazing guy. And not only because he's my brother, he's just he's honestly a fucking genius when it comes to business, when it comes to music. He carries himself very well, you know, and that's why he's so successful. You know what I mean? Being the good person.
And he's talented as fuck,
and
too,
he's talented
man.
as fuck.
Yeah.
And he's talented as fuck, yeah.
That's awesome.
So yeah, June, I fucking traveled the world, and that lasted a few years. But again, at that time, he wasn't where he's at now. So I'm getting, you know, I'm going on the road every like 2 weeks. I'm getting paid, you know, a couple $1,000s. But at that time, I got kids. I just got out of prison. I'm trying to figure this out. I'm a 25-year-old kid. So about 2 years of that, I stepped to him. I'm like, look, man, you're my brother, but I got, you know, I'm back on the streets trying to do some shit. He had told me too. He's like, man, get out, fuck the streets. This is about to go. But you can't have anybody else's vision. You know what I mean? He had his vision, and thank God he did. I'm trying to figure out for myself, you know, and I'm not trying to ride his code at the time. I'm like, yo, you know, you're my boy, but I'm
Nobody
trying to figure
likes
it out.
a handout like that,
Exactly,
right? You know what I mean? It's like, yeah.
And so I got back on the streets, started bullshitting, ended up in Colorado a few years later for the Green Rush, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to fast forward, man, in 2016, November 2016, I was here in Colorado, and some shit had gone down where I figured, which is the obvious, you know, when you're dealing with the streets, you can't trust anybody, you know what I mean? Not even people you think are your partners, they're pieces of shit, you know what I mean? And you're caught up in that lifestyle. So I remember getting home to the house here, and I was living in Mount Bello, and I just got on my knees, man, and I'm not gonna say I'm religious, but I am spiritual. I go to church every once in a while, but I do pray to God, and I thank God every day at every moment that I can. And I got on my knees, man. I started crying, snot coming out my nose, you know what I mean? And I'm like, God, please, man, I can't wait. I don't want to do this shit anymore. I'm just done. I don't want to fucking try to sell a pound of weed for $100 and fucking, you know, you can't trust this guy, and I'm just done with this shit. And I was training here at some place called Colorado Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I was doing a little jiu-jitsu just to stay in, and I always stayed in shape, always did some weights. Packed my shit, came back to Miami about 3 days later after I had gotten on my knees. Went back to my old boxing gym, Fifth Street Boxing Gym. Shout out to them. It's Muhammad Ali's original gym. Yeah,
Legendary.
It's called World Famous Fifth Street Gym. That's my guys. I got in there, started training just for fun, and then December of 2016, right before 2017, I tell my coach at the time, I'm like, you know what, man, I want to take a fight. Are you sure? I'm like, yeah. So they come back about 2 days later. He's like, oh, look, there's a fight, Dominican Republic, January 27th. I'm like, oh shit! In my head, I'm like, fuck, am I ready for this shit? I'm like, you know what? Let's do it. I was like, it was
out of country fight too for the first one.
Out of country. It was gonna be for an Instagram post. I'm like, fuck it, I'll post this shit on Instagram. It was a bucket list thing. You know, I was gonna do it once. I went over there. I trained my ass off. I went over there. I dieted, made weight, got there. I won by first round knockout, and I'll tell you right now, man, it was the biggest rush of life. It got higher than any drug in this world. It was amazing. It was amazing just to, like, how happy I made my family and friends that came to see me, and just other people that didn't come to see me. They were happy for me. How happy my kids were, and it's just like, you know, it was just this positive momentum in my life that people in my gym would make me accountable whenever I missed. You know, there was accountability. We're like, yo, where you at? Where you missing? And they knew where I came from, so they wanted to keep me accountable, and they wanted to keep me under that wing. And man, as the years just went on, and I kept doing fights, I fought, and it just became my lifestyle. And you know, so I told you, 2016, I had that come to God moment. Took me all of 2017, I was fighting. So, but it took me about that year to kind of get like, just leave. Like, yo, what I gotta do is just stop fucking with everybody. I stop answering my mom's calls, stop answering like anybody's calls. Like, cause if I keep hanging around in the same circle, I'm gonna fall back into the same shit. Because along the way in my life, I've always tried to do good. You know what I mean? I've always wanted to have a structure in my life because I lack structure in my life. So I'd start something 3 months down the road, I'd be great, and like 3 months and 1 day later, I'm fucking back doing what I was doing. You know what I mean? And that happened multiple times.
It's funny how people can drag you into that scenario,
man.
too, man.
Yeah,
It's like,
and I don't want to blame anybody because at the end of the day, it's on me. But if you don't leave the shit that you're in, you're just gonna fall right back into the same shit. You know what I mean? And I left it, and fucking about a year later, man, I feel like I'm a new guy. I'm not doing nothing. I'm making all my money off anything with sports and sponsorships. And then, and here I am 8 years later. I have the fastest knockoff in combat sports history. I get opportunities like this to speak to you. You know what I mean? I got an amazing, amazing fiance about to be my wife. Her name is Ashley Sabera. She was a Dana Brooke on WWE. She's on Impact Wrestling now. She's a diva.
Okay.
I got my son who's amazing, and I'm his Superman in his eyes. You know what I mean? So life is great, man. Life is great. My mom is fucking proud of me. She's not worried about where I'm at anymore. You know what I mean? Back in the day, my mom used to have, I'll be out 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning. My mom's wondering if I'm alive. You know what I mean? Now she's like, life is good. I'm taking care of my family. I'm taking care of business, and I did a 180. I can't even see that dude that I was anymore. And life is good.
That's badass, brother, man. I'm happy for you, man.
Thank you,
I'm
brother.
proud of you. I just met you, and I'm proud of you,
Thank
dog.
you, man.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
I think one of the things that impressed me the most when I found out that you were coming on, you were going to be in town and stuff, is I went back and kind of dug through your social media, and just your openness and your love for your son, and how you are not I feel like some people are ashamed to be a parent sometimes or something, or they don't share it publicly. And I personally don't share my son publicly or my daughters unless they ask for it, right? We come in here, we record private podcasts, we do that sort of thing. I've name dropped them a couple times, and they watch this. They know what curse words are.
Right, for sure.
So I'm pretty much an open book with them, but I just, man, it made me emotional and feel like it's a testament to how you are as a father.
Thank you.
Being open with that, man.
Thank you.
I think that's really cool.
To me, it's the most important thing in my life. You know what I mean? It takes precedent over anything. My son is my best friend. He's 11 years old. Just turned 11 in March too. His birthday is like 10 days before mine. So we're both Pisces gang.
Hell yeah, me too.
Which is dope.
March 3rd.
March 3rd?
Yeah.
That's his birthday.
No shit.
He's March 3rd. I'm March 14th. No shit.
That's badass.
That's badass, dog. Pisces
Hell
gang.
yeah.
So
Jeremy's birthday today too. Shout out.
Yeah. Shout out to Jeremy, dog. Young Jeremy back there. So man, he's my twin. He's junior, Ulysses Junior, and he's my everything, man. And last year, right after his 10th birthday, his birthday's March 3rd, March 8th of last year, he had been going through some pain in his leg. Excuse me. Anyways, ended up taking him to the hospital. I had gone to his primary, had gone to a physical therapist, ended up taking him to the hospital. They found a lesion on his femur bone. I didn't know what that was. We're in a hospital for a few days. And then Monday, March 13th, they did a bunch of scans on him. They found he had a cancerous tumor on his femur bone called osteosarcoma. So March 14th, so March 13th did all the scans. March 14th, which is my birthday, that morning, we're in the hospital. Everybody comes in. Hey, happy birthday. We got to do 18 weeks of chemo, surgery, 10 weeks of chemo. Your son has osteosarcoma. This is what it is, blah, blah, blah. Fucking devastated, man. Craziest time in my life, And again, I believe in God, and you're a father yourself. I heard you just said anything happens to your kids. I wish God would give it to me 100 times over. You know what I mean? But
agreed.
He went through it, man. From March of last year to November, he got to ring the bell, which is a ceremony when you beat cancer. He's cancer free right now. He's my right hand man. He's one of my cornermen. We actually have a podcast together in Miami, called The Monsters. I'm actually his co-host. You know what I mean?
Let's go.
Yeah, he's 11 years old.
So go download that. Go subscribe to that right now. That is badass.
Yeah, it's at A Day in Miami, and
Jeremy, look this up. We got to pull this up.
Yeah. A Day in Miami. A Day in Miami podcast.
Is it on YouTube?
Yeah, it should be on YouTube. Yeah, A Day in Miami.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. Look at our first one, man. Well, the other one's dropped. I think the other one already dropped, as a matter of fact. Let me see podcast right there. Let's see, go down a little bit. Let me see. Go down. Yeah, because they had a couple different shows.
That's so awesome. Does he enjoy doing it too?
Oh, he loves it, man.
Yeah,
he loves it.
My kids love it too, man.
Yeah, you know what? Put Yuli Monster off the podcast up there. See if it comes out. Yuli Monster. Let's see if it comes up. Oh,
there it is.
There it is. That's my boy. That's my boy. Yeah, man, it's freaking amazing. He's so good with his talking. He's 11 years old, but he speaks like a grown man.
Subscribe to that, Jeremy.
Yeah, he knows how to express himself very well. He asked the best
he's
questions.
got some guests on. How many episodes does he have?
No. We've only done 2. So
okay,
go down a little bit right there, Jeremy. Right there. That's number 1, and number 2 should be dropping, I guess, today.
Yeah.
I don't know if it dropped already yet, but we had one of his little friends that's a national champion, and he's a Florida State champion in boxing, and he just won a Georgia
damn,
State
you guys got a full-on studio and everything too, huh?
Yeah. Shout out to a day in Miami, man. Yeah.
All right.
That's funny.
I gotta have him on here as a guest at some point.
I would love to. He would love it. He would love it, man. Yeah.
He's welcome anytime, man.
Thank you, brother.
Keep rolling with it.
Absolutely.
And that's badass.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
That's cool.
That's fucking rad.
Yeah, man, it's the best thing, man. Like I said, he's my best friend. I speak to him very openly, you know what I mean? And we're speaking today because one of my friend's sons that's friends with him, you know, but these guys are teenagers. They have a younger brother that's friends with my son, but we hang out with the family. The dad is one of my best friends. He told me how he got a son. The 2 older ones are twins. They're like 15 years old. 15, they'll be 16 now, like in October. He told me he got a call from his son saying, "Hey, come over here right now. One of the twins is drunk. They're at a house party." He's 15 years old.
Oh shit!
So fucking gets there. The kid never been drunk in his life. He's like, call an ambulance. He thinks he's dying. You know what I mean? And the younger brother, which is my son's good friend. He's 13. You know, he saw his older brother like this. One of his older brothers like this, and he freaked out. You know what I mean? And I told my boy, the dad, I'm like, you know what? This is kind of good for them. It's not good that it happened to him. We don't want that to happen to our kids. We especially don't want them drinking. And my boy's a sober guy. He stopped drinking about 8 years ago. Hasn't been drinking, so he's a good example for his children. But he's like, you know, I tell him, man, it's kind of good that it happened in front of these guys, so that way, you know, the younger one, I don't want to say names, but the younger one who's 13. Can see like, oh shit, I don't want to fucking do that. My brother looks like he's dying. I don't want to fucking go through that shit. You know what I mean? And I talk to my son. We talk about it. You know, because I tell him, look, man, if you could avoid fucking drinking and smoking and doing all this shit, avoid it. Trust me. Like you know, growing up, I didn't have anybody to steer me in the right direction. You have me to do that to you, right? But along the way, you're gonna be with your friends. I'm not gonna be there all the time. You might get influenced to do something one day. And I'm telling you, man, it's gonna be a fucking waste of time. And if you get stuck on this shit, whether it's smoking or drinking or anything it is, some people do well. Not everybody. You know what I mean? It's a general thing, but
it affects people.
To me, the most successful people are the people who don't fucking do anything. You know what I mean? Like they you know what I mean? I know guys who run clubs. You think they'd be fucking cokeheads and alcoholics,
especially in Miami.
Especially, and I know these guys that run the biggest club down there. They're sober and they're killing. And I know many sober, but that's just one example.
Yeah.
To me, being sober and being in your right state of mind at all times. Now, don't get me wrong. You want to have a good time every once in a while? Do it. You know what I mean? But if you could avoid it, you know, my kid's 11. If you could avoid fucking doing it for the rest of your life,
11's too early. Yeah,
exactly. Definitely too early.
But it's good for him to perk his ears up. And I think, like, honestly, having a bad experience the first time you drink is the best thing that could happen to you.
You're right.
Because I had a fucking blast the first time I drank, and that's probably why there's a whole liquor cabinet over here now. But
you know what?
And I don't really drink that much anymore. You know, I do when I have a guest in. It's like 1 or 2, or if I'm celebrating an occasion or something occasionally. But fuck, man, it is. You want to talk about something that wrecks your body and what I've seen it do to other people, even more than drugs sometimes, man. Like alcohol is
and
vicious.
the thing is this, man, right? So how old are you?
I'm just turned 44 in March.
Okay, so you're young. You're my age. You know what I mean? So you've been drinking for a while, and you know you could have 2 or 3 drinks right now. You're fucking straight. You could drive home, but God forbid you get pulled over down the street because of fucking anything.
Oh
dumb.
And that'll ruin your life, man.
Ruin your life. You'd ruin your life. You can't fucking drive anymore. You're spending 10 to 15 grand on a lawyer, if not fucking more. You're going to jail. bad example for your kids, you know what I mean? And just so much shit that comes with it, you know what I mean? And all this that you have going positive momentum for you will give a fucking e-brake, you know what I mean? And that's one of the things that, thank God, I never got a DUI and nothing ever happened to me while being drunk. But yeah, I got fucking wasted. I wasted a shitload of time, I'll tell you that. Looking back, I don't have any regrets. Thank God I was able to turn my life around, and I'm doing everything great now. And I'm not trying to preach sobriety, guys. You know what I mean? If you're having a good time, have a good time. But at least for me, I'm talking for me personally. I've been sober for going almost on a year now, but totally sober. And man, I just like the way this feels better. You know
Let's go. Yeah. It is like the brain fog that I get.
Exactly.
It's honestly like I enjoy the moment. It's the 2 or 3 days later, man. I notice like,
man, and exactly,
especially if you're eating clean or something, it affects you differently, man.
The last thing you want to do is eat clean after you're like getting hungover. And shit. Like I'm gonna fucking greasy.
No, hell no. Everything goes out. Order the 18-inch
and the thing is,
pizza.
all your momentum stops, and you got to kind of like start all over again. You know what I mean? Like,
and you miss days at the gym. You miss all kinds of shit, dude.
Yeah.
You're the biggest thing is you're not present for. I've really taken this in the last couple years, and especially since COVID hit. I mean, we were just on such a freight train prior to that, and my kids were a lot younger. But just being present for your kids or while you're around, right? Like, I mean, there's so many distractions nowadays. It's just another distraction, man. It's like, all right.
And the thing is, me again.
Is this thing fucking up on you?
No.
Okay.
I'm just playing with it. I'm fucking fidgety. Again, speaking for myself, you know, I'm a superhero in my son's eyes, man. I fight for a living. I'm a professional athlete. So, you know, I've had moments where, like, after a fight, you know, fucking let me get a little shot of whiskey and shit, you know what I mean? And my son's like, oh, Dad, why are you drinking? I'm like, fuck. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't know that it's not really a big deal, you know what I mean? But so I'm like, fuck, yeah, I don't want to be this guy in his eyes, man. So that way I just left it alone. And that way I uphold myself. And when I talk to him, he could see, like, all right, my dad doesn't do it. I'm leading by example, you know what I mean? So, I mean, that's, like, again, that's my lifestyle.
99% of my bad decisions have all been under the influence of alcohol.
Yeah, for sure. Me too.
I mean, anytime that I've been in trouble with the law, there's always been alcohol involved.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's that liquid courage is real, man.
That's it, man. But I take a shot and fucking a cape goes out of me and shit. It's like I'm in a phone booth.
I've always said I'm allergic to like, especially, break out in handcuffs.
Break out in handcuffs, that's what it is, yeah.
Especially Jack Daniels or something.
Oh,
like,
fuck.
And I'm so picky now with what I drink. I'm so picky, right? It's like a couple of tequilas, and it's got to be some good shit, dude. Don't give me no fucking bullshit. Yeah. Well, tequila.
But, you know, the last time I drank was after... It was a few fights ago. This was sometime last year, and I had that tequila with the bell on the top, and it was like $300 for the fucking big bottle. But it was, you don't even taste it. It was
the
fire.
one that looks like a big hog.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't buy it just for that reason. I'm like,
I forgot what it's called too. But it's expensive, but it tastes great.
Yeah, it's good shit.
Yeah. Oh man, how long you guys been doing this?
Man, we are on our 4th year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and,
I love consistency, man. That's what makes you. That's what gets you to where you need to be is consistency.
I fucking love this, man. Yeah. But it does come like all the extra kind of stuff that's kind of coming along with it now. Some days I'm like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
But I'm doing it because I get to sit across from you and hear your experience, and I think the biggest thing is just the human connection, man. Like there's no phones involved. There's no, it's just a real connection, man.
Absolutely.
I think it's something that's missing. And we have people that listen. So it's like,
that helps.
That's cool, man. It's not always the best advice from me, but I think that we don't script anything. Like I didn't send you a script prior to it. Like, hey, this is what we're going to talk about. Right. And I do a little bit of homework. I go and research a little bit about the guests just, to be on top of what's coming in and stuff. But I don't spend like a ton. I don't stress out about it, right?
That's the way. When I do mine, that's the way I do it. I like to like freestyle and really get to know you, how I get to know people, and I feel like you can find a little piece of motivation, inspiration, or something in everybody. You know what I mean? Everybody you have on, you're like, fuck, man. This, you know what? Something he said there impacted me. I'm gonna carry that with me. You know what I mean? Or the other way. I'm like, oh shit. Something he said is like, I'm not gonna do that. You know? Either or. You know, it's something that might help.
Well, and I enjoy listening to podcasts just for the sheer fact is like you're kind of involved in a conversation, but you don't have to like. There's no output, right?
Right.
You just take what you want, and but yeah, I've become a fan of it, and it was weird. I didn't become a fan of it until like maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and then COVID kind of hit, and that shut down my industry. We had built the studio prior to that, but yeah, it just has kind of turned into its own monster, man.
That's awesome.
It's fucking awesome.
That's
and
great,
I
man.
love it, man. And I'm so fortunate. I've forged so many friendships sitting at this same table, you know, like right across the old studio we started in was a closet. We started with one GoPro and like a couple shitty microphones and like
that's the way to start,
man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, all the love and support that we've had, and just people like you that have said yes or reached out or whatever, you know. I'm so blessed, man, for all of it, dude. It's awesome. Yeah,
that's it. I hope God keeps blessing you guys, man. Keep going forward.
Yeah.
And to me, the most important thing in anything you do, whether it's podcast, fighting, or anything you do, is consistency, man. As long as people see you keep doing things and you keep doing the right thing, doors keep opening. You know what I mean? And opportunities keep coming. That's what's happened to me with my fight career. I just kept going, and the more I keep going, the more doors open.
Yeah, man. It's that I think is the hardest part, and the thing that I'm most proud about it. What we've achieved here is just the consistency. We've done one a week pretty much for the entire 4 years.
That's great.
You know, we might have missed a few here or there, and you got to take a break every once in a while, right? But yeah, no, that is a feat in itself. I think anybody that thinks that they're just going to start a podcast and it's going to take off and there's a bit of reality there.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And you know what? I don't know how long you've been with Jamie, or Jamie.
Yeah, it's all good.
Jeremy.
Yeah.
But it takes a good team to help out too.
That's my ride or die, man. He's my day one.
That's
it. Shout out to all the people that help me now. I mean, we have editors and stuff to bring this to people every week, and fortunately, we have some sponsors that help pay for that, you know. And yeah, dude, I'm blessed, dude.
Shout out the sponsors, bro.
Yeah, hell yeah. I want to keep doing this forever now, man. It's so awesome. I mean, it's so awesome that I end up doing it with my kids, like privately and stuff. Awesome. They like coming in here, you know, and you know, because you've experienced that, like it's weird. A microphone and a set of headphones sometimes like raises your IQ just a tiny bit, or mine anyways, a tiny bit, right? So to see them creatively sit down or something like that is super cool.
And it's easy to open up to harder conversations where, like, if you're at home and you want to ask your daughter or your son about something, you're like, fuck, how do I come in this conversation? You come in the studio, you put on some headphones, you start giggling, laughing, and then you can open up like, hey, what about this? How about, you know, you got a boyfriend or you know, whatever it may be, you know, a hard conversation.
There's a little bit of truth serum there too, because it's like, hey, we're recording this motherfucker. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna show you this when you're 16 and shit. That's funny, man.
No, it's some of the conversations I've had with my 6-year-old are fucking interesting, dude.
Shit, that's awesome.
She's gonna be super embarrassed later in life. Yeah,
that's awesome though, man.
Yeah. So your podcast, when did you start that? And
so we had Don't Blink podcast. Blink podcast. That started after my 3-second knockout. I'd say, like, I don't know, maybe a month or two later, we got rolling with it. I had a great team too. We did it consecutively for 2 years. Every week we dropped a podcast for 2 years. We had kind of an issue with, I don't want to say an issue, it was never like a problem, but we were trying to bring in sponsors. We did at the beginning, and then we'd sit and have team meetings. And then when we leave, we wouldn't, and nobody would do what we talked about at the meeting. You know what I mean? So we kind of just broke that up. And then Pitbull had a podcast called Negative to Positive. He brought me in as the host there because he was too busy doing shit. So me and my fiance became the host for Negative to Positive. That should be dropping. The new episode should be dropping soon. I'll let you guys know.
Hell yeah.
And it's been amazing, man. I've always enjoyed talking to people. I've always been, even before anything, I was always, you know, quote unquote, the life of the party. You know what I mean? I talk to anybody from the CEO to the homeless dude. You know what I mean? I got no problem kicking it with anybody. So, and opening up and asking the hard questions. I've always been that guy. So I love this scenario, and I love the podcast game has been awesome. You know, and with Don't Blink podcast, I had, you know, 2 years, what is that, 52, that's 110 weeks of dope guests on. We had a couple of guests on multiple times, but it was always, you know, the stories are dope.
It's not taken down completely, right?
No,
you
can
still
find
go
it.
check it out.
Don't be, you can still find it. Yeah, it's still up.
Well, we're gonna go ahead and we'll put some live links into this podcast and then your other podcast too you got going on.
Yeah, negative to positive.
So if you're listening to the show right now, all you have to do is open the show notes and you can get links to Yuri's website, to all the podcasts that you got going on.
Yeah. I always
that's the thing too, man, is like they all kind of have their own. The thing that I love about this is it's really just like free form.
Right.
Like we've had archaeologists sit in that seat,
shit, that's
and
badass.
now I got royalty in the combat sports. You know what I mean? So it's like the diversity is just all over the place.
Yeah.
But I have another podcast called Show Ready, and it's so hard, man. I just solely focus on this one. But like to have a fight career or a music career or something and do it, you really have to like do it on the road, which we've had to do a little bit. You know,
what,
like
the podcast on
with
the road?
the podcast, because you know sometimes I'm not always here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's it's definitely hard.
It's a job inside
or
a job.
do like 5 in a week and have them backlogged.
Right. That's what we used to do. We used to pre-record to whenever I had a fight coming up, and I would take those weeks off. We had a show, you know, it wouldn't miss a beat.
It's hard though because I feel like it loses a little bit of relevancy. Like we're recording this now, it'll be out Friday, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it depends if we know we're not bringing up any like
I guess it depends.
Current events and stuff. Yeah, exactly. You know, we talking about life and stuff, and my life hasn't changed. You know what I mean? So it's only gonna. You know, hopefully we get to do a round 2 after this fight sometime.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dude, you're welcome anytime, man.
Thank you, brother. My next fight, after I win this one, May 10th, I'll be fighting for the world title. So it'll be dope to come in here as a world champ, you know what I mean?
Let's go.
And circle back.
Hell yeah. Let's go for sure. We might even come down to your fight too, man.
That'd be great.
I'm supposed to do a short run to Vegas, but I think I come back on the 10th.
Oh, that'd be great, man.
Yeah, maybe I can buzz straight from the airport over. Where's it at?
It's at
It's at the stock show.
Stockyard Event Center. Let me see. Go down a little bit. Let me see the fight. I haven't seen this. Yeah, that's the main event there, and then the girls, and then I'm the feature fight. So I'm 3 before the final one.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Cool. And that's my guy right there. He's from my team, Robert Duran Jr. That's
Okay.
Robert Duran. His dad's a legend. His dad fought Sugar Ray Leonard.
Yeah,
and
I know exactly who his
Yeah.
dad is. I didn't make that correlation though. That's badass. So is he out of Miami as well, or?
Yeah, well, Robert Duran Jr. is out of South Florida. He's up like Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that primarily where you're fighting out of now? Is 5th Street?
Well, right now, so Fifth Street's always been my gym for the last 8 years. I left and I had a different coach a few times, and right now I'm at Tropical Park Boxing, which is. It's just really it's more for logistics than anything else because it's closer to my house. Fifth Street Gym's on South Beach, and it's been a drive for 8 years, and it's been tolls, and it's been, you know what I mean? And, And when I take because I have
plus it's South Beach, man. It's like you got
Exactly.
to deal with all that.
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
And you know what? Everything happened like at the right time. So my nephew lives with me as well. I raised him as well. He's an 11-year-old kid too. He's like my son. So the park where I do boxing at now is right next to his school. So I drop him off at 7 a.m. By 7:30, I'm at the boxing gym. Instead of driving fucking an hour to South Beach. And then when I did this switch, it was like during spring break, which traffic's even worse. And just cops, and they narrow the streets down and all this shit. I'm like, you know what, man? I love you guys. These guys are my family, but I got to switch it up just logistically and fucking, man, money-wise. Just like I said, tolls and time and, you know, just all this shit.
Well, think about all the training time that you're getting in where you're not sitting behind the wheel, right?
Exactly.
Like, that shit matters, man.
No, it matters
like
a lot.
Little edges like that.
It
start
matters
to
a lot.
matter, I would
It does.
imagine.
It does. Because I spent fucking months in my car just driving to the gym, you know what I mean?
That's cool though, man. It's got to be cool, like stepping into that with just the homage of fighters and the pedigree of fighters that have come out of Fifth Street.
No,
right?
and still a huge, you know, lineup of pedigree fighters still go through there. You know, shout out to Dino Spencer, who's the owner now. He's a guy from Chicago, came and hooked up with the Dundees, the original owners of the gym, and got the name, and he's been running it. 2011 when they first opened. I think I was there. And doing an amazing job, man. Great guy. You know, he's always gonna be my coach no matter where I'm at. I love the guy. And and he's running an amazing show.
Do you
there.
still go back there to spar or anything?
I do. I do. I still go back to spar. I still go show face over there because, like I said, they're family.
It's good to change it up anyways, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, it is.
And where are you training at here?
Here I'm at Genesis Training Center with Chris Camozzi, with Coach Jake. Shout out to them.
Grant Neal, Brandon Gertz.
Yeah, Brandon Gertz. Shout out to the homies. I saw Rose Namajunas and Pat Berry there the other day. Fucking legends. Yeah, man. And I told Chris before I was coming out here that I was going to be there. I mean, that I needed to train. They opened the doors to me. Coach Jake has been amazing, man. You know what I mean? So they opened the door to me. I'm there every day getting it in. You know what I mean? Kicking ass and just making weight right now. It's my only.
Well, that's good for them too, right? Yeah. Like have some different talent, some different looks to look at.
Absolutely, absolutely. So. You know, I get to. I shout out to all the guys that you know we spar over there and all the guys I move around with. So it's been amazing, man. They've really opened their doors to me. Really made me feel like family. So it's great. I want to shout out somebody else.
Such good dudes, too.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. It's amazing. I want to shout out another guy, man. He's from. I met this guy on through Instagram. You got to bring this up.
Okay.
If not, I got to text it to you so you could get the actual link. But his name is Sharon Campbell. Sharon is SHEROWN. I met this dude on Instagram. This guy is fucking motivational. SHE.
SHE.
Yeah. EROWN. Sharon Campbell. Right there, that guy. First one. That one.
Is he out of Denver?
Yeah, he's out of Denver.
Okay.
Let me see. He put up a video of me the other day. He came to see me.
Hell yeah.
No, but yeah, that's something he just made the day he came to watch me. Go to his reels real quick. It's one that he has pinned. I might have to send it to you. I don't know why he doesn't have it at the top no more. He used to be pinned. He has over 10 million views on this thing. This guy was paralyzed. He's working out now. He's walking around. He's fucking an amazing dude. Inspirational as hell. Like I said, I met him. I saw him on Instagram. Left a comment. We started talking through Instagram. Found out he's from here. Found out I was fighting here, so I invited him and his whole family. They're coming out to the fight. He came out the other day to watch me train. What an amazing dude, man! Amazing dude. Let me show you let me send you the video right quick. Maybe we can send it to
you. Can airdrop it to this computer. Okay. I don't know if you know how to do that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Perfect.
Of course you do. How dare me? Don't knock me out, bro. Please.
Never.
If you're not checking out the Mountainside Podcast on YouTube, you absolutely should be. If you like the content that we create here and you want to help support the podcast, please take a moment, subscribe to us on YouTube, and hit that notification bell.
All right, I just sent it to you, man. This shit makes me tear up everything.
Okay, here it is. Jeremy's got it that fast. Good job, Jeremy. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, I was gonna say you gotta put the volume on and shit.
Damn, he's
fucking killing it, man. This dude was paralyzed, bro.
Oh, damn.
No
Have you been there?
Go there?
No, I haven't been there. I heard about that place.
Bro, you got to go there.
Yeah, I heard about that. This is just a great dude, man, and I've had the pleasure of meeting him, man. He's coming out to the fights as well. He was wrestling with his boy about 10 years ago, and his boy just wrestling around broke his neck. The guy thought he was playing. He thought he was kidding. He was fucking got paralyzed.
What?
Yeah, man, wrestling with his boy.
Kid?
No, with one of his boys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Yeah. Shout out to Sharon, man.
That's badass, man. Yeah. Shout out. Give him a follow too, Sharon Campbell. I should have him on the podcast.
Oh man, he's a fucking great guy. That'd be great.
Especially if he's here. We'll come to him.
Yeah, I'll give you guys. Well, no, he could drive. He could walk. Everything. Yeah. I'll put you guys in a group text when we get out of here.
Okay.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah. That's awesome, man.
Look at him, bro. That dude's ripped and all, man. This dude couldn't walk, bro. It's wild.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like, what's your fucking excuse at that point, right?
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
That's what I love.
You couldn't have said it better, bro. What's your excuse, bro? You know what I mean? Exactly.
Yeah. It's crazy. I have a friend of mine. Shout out Caleb Brewer, man. He runs Stick Sniper Archery outside of Tucson.
Nice.
Former Green Beret, double amputee.
Fuck.
On prosthetics. And this motherfucker can jump rope on his prosthetics, one-legged.
Wow.
and is deadlifting every day. Like,
What's
he's
your
just
excuse,
a savage,
bro? There's just
man.
people like that out there, man. What's your excuse, man?
He's the most humble,
Yeah.
nicest, fucking badass bow hunter. He goes out and kills elk, and like, there is no excuses for him, man.
Most humble
It's like-
people are people like that, man. They've really been through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they know the other side of this world, brother. So fucking.
I love knowing people like that, hearing their story, because it really puts my life, as selfish as this sounds, it puts my life in perspective. Is like, what I might think is a big deal, is it really a fucking that big of a deal?
No, that's not selfish at all, because like you said, it puts it in perspective. Like, you know, it brings you back down to like, and when you're like, there is no, I can't do this. Like, fuck, this guy kicks in your head and you're like, fuck, if this guy could do it. I mean, and not to put him down. It's not like if he could do it, I can. It's just like, if he even tries, I have to give it a try, man. What excuse do I have? You know what I mean? Not to try something.
Yeah, and I think, you know, learning from other people's experiences is huge, man.
Absolutely.
Like, you never know when something's going to happen to you, right?
That's right.
You don't know what's coming down the pipeline, man.
That's right.
And I think, you know, like, to bring it back to staying present, man, I think that's really what I've noticed. Like, all the people that I've talked to in here who have had, I mean, horrible things in my eyes happen to them. Sometimes it's the best thing that's ever happened to them.
That's
you know?
That's it.
Sometimes it's the most visceral meaning to life, right? And
you know what? Throughout my whole lifetime, man, it's been a lot of times where I'm like, you know, like, God, why did this happen to me? And then later down the line, I'm like, thank God that happened to me, because it opened my eyes to something else, where it made me change, you know. And like that moment I had here, you know, it was just something that had happened where I'm like, God, please get me out of this, you know what I mean? And I got to change my life because of that moment. So I agree with you. Is you know, certain things in life that you ask, why me? And then you're like, thank God it was me later down the line, you know?
yeah. Or you also got to think about who's around you and who it's impacting,
That's
right?
right.
You know what
That's
I mean?
right.
Like, can I ask you a personal question?
Absolutely.
You don't have to answer this if you don't want to, because this is probably the most sensitive subject that we could bring up right now, is your son and his battle with cancer and going through remission. I mean, I'm the guy that's, you know, on my couch when the St. Jude commercials come on and start fucking crying, dude. I just did a private deal for a nonprofit a few days ago, and it was with a veteran that is a double amputee. And, you know, I was pretty solid during all of it until he started talking about his son and like how he thought he wasn't going to make it back to his son. And then there's showing photos of his son sitting on his hospital bed. And like, shout out to Parker's Platoon too, which is an amazing nonprofit who is literally like, they're not taking a dime. They're actually taking money out of their own pockets to fund things that need to happen for some men and women that have fought for this country, and you know, why we can sleep in our beds safe and sound at night and stuff. And it's Scott Parker from the Colorado Avalanche. I don't know if you follow hockey all that much.
I don't.
Dude, he was one of the baddest dudes in all of hockey.
Oh shit.
And another Kamosi hookup. Shout out Chris. Yeah, introduced us. But he was an enforcer for the Avalanche. Won a Stanley Cup with them.
Wow.
So he was literally like fighting at least 150 nights a year, probably, dude. Bare knuckle.
That's awesome.
Fucking hockey garb.
Hockey dudes are tough as nails.
Back when hockey was a little bit different too. Yeah, check out. There's this badass documentary called Ice Guardians on Netflix, I think. You might have to look it up, Jeremy. Definitely go and give that a watch. You'll dig it, man. You'll dig it. Coming from the bare knuckle world and stuff. And
you know, I always loved those enforcers in hockey, man. Those guys are tough as nails.
Badass. But his nonprofit, he's dedicated his post hockey career to that. So I always feel like, you know, there's somebody out there that may be listening to this now that might be going through the same thing, or maybe they're early on to it, or maybe they're going to experience this later in life. And they could come back and maybe take some of your advice and your experience. Like, what was the hardest thing? What are some speed bumps that maybe came along the way that they could avoid during that whole journey? And I know you guys are still dealing with it, you know, too.
Yeah. So with my son, man, it was what he had was called osteosarcoma. It's not something that's hereditary. It's not a cancer that runs in the family. Nobody ever had cancer, nothing. It's something that happens to kids. Happens to boys and girls, a lot more to boys from the ages of like 8 to like 18 or something like that. He just had this weird pain in his leg. My son played tackle football and he played basketball. So at the beginning, I'm like, oh, this got to be a Charlie horse or something. You know what I mean? He got Charlie horse. Slowly, the pain was like it was more. And then I take him to private lessons on a weekend with like he plays O-line, so it's a line coach. And we had him running up this hill, and the guy calls me over. He's like, hey, check this out. He's like, you see how your son's like, he's compensating one leg more than the other. And before that, like, he's a little kid, so I, in the shower helping him out and stuff, he wouldn't let me touch his leg. So I'm like, it's like a bad Charlie horse or something. So then he tells me, look, your son, he's compensating one leg. So I took him to a therapist. He tells me, Dad, don't let this guy touch my leg. I'm like, all right, but again, you're talking to at that time, 9 years old. He turned 10, but at that time he was 9. So I'm like, man, let him put these little electric prods on you and stuff. Let him massage it. And he's like, Dad, no, please don't let him touch it. I'm like, all right, cool. I take him to his primary. The guy's been a doctor 40 years. I know him 20 years because I got a 22-year-old daughter. So the primary, this guy that's been a doctor 40 years, tells me, don't worry about it. It's growing pains. All right, cool. Shit, chalk it up to growing pains. You know what I mean? But every day I take my son to school, it's gradually getting worse. Now it's to the point. Now, mind you, before this happened too, I called the doctor. I'm like, hey, doc, I need MRIs. I need something. He's like, oh, no. They give you that medical runaround. No, you need to get x-rays and this shit. I'm taking my son to school. He's getting out of the car. He's limping. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck that. Junior, get in the car. Let's go. I take him to emergency. We do x-rays. And then I take him. By the time I take him back to school, they had sent the x-rays over to his primary. His primary calls me. Hey, take him back to... They found a lesion in his femur bone. Take him back to the hospital. I'm like, all right, what's that mean? What's a lesion? No, take him to oncology. I didn't even know what oncology was. I had to Google it. So it's a cancer doctor. Mm-hmm. And everything just snowballed right there, brother. Everything happened so fast. And like I told you, the day they actually said he had cancer was the morning of my birthday. So I learned everything along the way. Never, I've heard, you got friends coming up, their mom or somebody had cancer. You feel bad. Obviously, you feel bad for them. But when it hits home like that, when it's on your lap, you know what I mean? It's a whole different thing. The Nicholas Children's Hospital back in Miami, Florida, it's fucking amazing. The team there, shout out to all the nurses on the 6th tower. They helped out more than you can know, man. Excuse me.
Take your time too, man. Like, and if you want to stop, we can stop too.
No, it's all good.
Yeah.
You made a good point about people needing to hear it. I was surrounded by great doctors. He had great oncology doctors, great nurses. I got a great family. You know what I mean? We had a great support team. And, he had just turned 10 years old. So at 10 years old, you don't have all the shit that we have in our mind at 40. All the negative shit, all the, like fucking...
Yeah.
There's some adults that you tell them, hey, you got cancer. And they're like, fuck, I got cancer. They die in a week from not, like, being mentally strong. You know what I mean? He's always been a happy kid. He's always been, he's got me in him. He's got my DNA in him. So he's a fucking warrior, you know what I mean? And this fight he fought is harder than anything I've ever fought in my life. He stayed positive through it, man. You know what I mean? He stayed positive. I don't know if anybody... Chemotherapy is a poison to put in your body. It kills good cells and bad cells. He lost all his hair. He lost his eyebrows. He got down to like 100 and some pounds, and he's a big kid. He's tall. He's a big dude. Right now, he's like 170. You know what I mean? And he's 11 years old. He's an offensive lineman.
We need to recruit him for my son's team.
Yeah, that'd be great.
You ever want to come play ball in Colorado? We got you, dog.
I'll tell him no. He'll love that.
South Jeffco Coyotes. Let's go.
He had a port in his chest. Had to put a port in his chest. His orthopedic surgeon. They went and he had an orthopedic surgeon and a plastic surgeon. That they go on his leg. They cut him from hip to knee, took out his femur bone. And then they cut him from knee down to ankle. They took his fibula. They put a cadaver bone with his fibula inside the cadaver bone, put that back with a rod, because his DNA would regenerate faster the bone with his fibula.
Wow.
No, it's crazy, the science in this kid. It's got some screws in there. Me and his orthopedic surgeon, he's an older guy, good friends. Me and his plastic surgeon, great friends. The guy's been to 2 of my fights. I invite him to this one. I'll buy your flight. Become family with these people, you know what I mean? They save your kid's life, you know what I mean? It's been amazing, man. He used to come on his days off with his daughters to come see my son. And man, I mean, it's just, I got to give all thanks to God, first off, you know what I mean? And just the team that we had around us was amazing. And thank God, I just saw, this was like maybe a month ago, one of the little girls that was with my son in the hospital, she just passed away, 13 years old. Yeah. I went to go see her at the hospital. My wife had just left the hospital. She went the day before, went that day, left, came home. It was probably like 11:30 at night. And my son's godmother that knows the family as well. We met them because they came from Costa Rica. Didn't have anybody here. We're living at the hospital. I'd buy them Uber Eats every day. We'd send them food and groceries and shit every day. And little girl died. So fucking 11:30 at night, we got up, went to a hospital, and fuck, man, you know what I mean? Saw this little girl that we saw the whole time. We saw this whole year. Thank God, man, for my son, he never had any hiccups through treatment. Usually you get fevers and stuff when you're on chemo because all your immune system drops to the floor. You have no immune system. My son made it through everything. The last like 2 weeks, he caught like a little fever, so we stayed in the hospital a couple extra days. But that's it, you know what I mean? There's kids. There's another kid. Shout out to Luna, man. Luna Peroni. If you can bring up her Instagram, please. She met The Rock. Taylor. What's her name? Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Luna. Perrone. RRONE. Look at her, man. She's fighting right there. First one right there. Go right there. She's fighting a battle right now, man. Look, little girl. Yeah, dog.
Damn, man.
Fucking shit, dude.
Yeah, dog. So, you know what I mean? Life is crazy, man. She's been fighting this shit for going on 4 years, brother. You know what I mean? I was there from March to November is when we fought it. We got out. My son is cancer free. Thank God.
Yeah.
And you know, no hiccups, and you know, God, I'm giving him a nice, easy life, no stress, and you know, doing everything we can to help him out. But some people aren't as lucky, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, look at The Rock right here, right there in the middle.
4 years, man.
Yeah.
That's no way to spend
and
it.
she's a 12, 13-year-old girl, man. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's no way to spend a
And think
childhood.
about 4
man.
years, it was just 9 years old, she's been fighting this shit, man.
Kids are so tough, man.
Yeah.
And they're so
Resilient, man.
resilient and just like they don't have all the outside noise bullshit,
That's
all
what I
the
was saying.
bad influence.
Yeah,
man.
that's the
So it's
first thing
like
I was saying. You know,
they can really be.
At us at 40, we've been through and seen so much shit that we like negative, and it's hard. We're human. You know what I mean? Negative
Yeah.
shit enters your mind, but you gotta fight it. You know. Excuse me. Sorry
You're
about
good,
that, guys.
bro. Oh fuck, dude. I didn't expect to get emotional, man. But that I think that, man, how is there anybody besides the doctors or anything, any sort of organizations that truly helped you? Because there's so many out there that are fucking robbing people,
Yeah.
you know, and taking advantage of kids
You
like
know what?
this. And
I've heard of that. Thank God
Yeah.
we never went through that. Thank God, honestly, I never had to go through any organization to help me with anything. I had great insurance, and my insurance carried me. And like I said, since I already knew my primary well, and I got to be great friends with everybody at the hospital. If anything needed to be done, I'd make the call directly, or they make the direct call for me, and I had no hiccups. Thank God, everything went smooth. But I want to give a shout out to Live Like Bella. That's a big organization, foundation down in Miami. Little girl that passed away. Her dad is the CEO and has been doing it for years, and they help out families. Like they helped this little girl. They had to get her body back to Costa Rica, and they got that done. And you know, they help out so much. Live Like Bella is a huge one. And just Nicholas Children's Hospital, the 6th tower, those nurses over there, and every floor. You know what I mean? 6th tower is where the cancer kids are, but
yeah,
all the girls in there, every floor, amazing, man. Girls and guys.
yeah, hell yeah.
But yeah, shout out to that whole hospital, the oncology team. Dr. D'Angulo is my son's doctor, and his nurse Adi. We've become best of friends, man. You know what I mean? Like, imagine you're in the toughest of times. You know what I mean? You need people to lean on. And I remember at the beginning, I had this.
You
meeting.
need compassionate people to
you
lean
do,
on
you
too,
do,
man.
you
And
do.
those people in those jobs don't have to be compassionate, man.
They don't,
but
man, and it's hard to be
fucking
compassionate
helps.
because you see it all the time, and you need to get shit done. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
understand that as well. But like when I went to go see Dr. D'Angulo, I sat in his office. I got introduced to his nurse. I sat in his office after being there probably 4 days. I had a different doctor, and not that she was bad. she was just business-like, and I needed somebody to hold my hand. And I sat in his office. I go, look, doc, I don't need somebody to hold my hand. And his nurse stood up. He's like, yes, you do. You've never been through this shit before. You know this about your kid. I'm like, all right, I do fucking need somebody to hold my hand. You know what I mean? I was saying that just because it's something to say, but I do fucking need somebody to hold my hand. And they held my hand all the way through, man. And thank God, man. You know what I mean?
And fucking treat people good, man.
Yeah.
It's you don't know what people are going through in their lives, man. Like, don't throw shade at people just for
I'm
for any
huge
reason,
on that.
right? You know?
I'm huge on that. I love being a good dude. I know I look scary already. I got scars on my face. I got gold teeth. I had dreadlocks. Now I got braids on my head. Got tattoos all every inch of my body. I know I look scary already. You know what I mean? But I'm an oxymoron, bro. I'm a teddy bear. I love being great to people. I go out of my way to do anything I can for anybody. You know what I mean? Even if I don't know you, I'll do anything I can. If I get asked, hey, Yuli, can you help this guy? And I have no idea who that guy is, I'm gonna go out of my way to help that guy. And it's not just because what I just went through. I've been like that throughout life. You know what I mean? And that's why I feel I am where I'm at today. Yeah, we all have bumps in the road. We all have a shit we gotta go through. But it either turns you one way or another. And I feel like it raises the bar on me just being a better person to people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would imagine that this raises your drive too to perform at a higher level, right? And it's got to be fuel for your fire.
Oh,
man.
Big time. After my last fight, I fought January 18th. January 28th, I ran my first marathon. No training, no nothing. I fought bare knuckle 10 days earlier. Came over there with stitches on my forehead and ran 26.2 miles. Never ran one in my life.
Let's go.
Thank you. Yes, sir. I'm actually running 100
Fucking
miles.
hate running,
7
dude.
days after 7 days after my this fight. I'm in a 100-mile race. But I went to
What? Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Say that again?
It's the Keys 100. It's from Key Largo to Key West. It's 100 miles. It's me and my boy, because you could have a team or you could run it by yourself. I've never run that far in my life. So me and my boy, shout out to Tito, we're running 50 miles each. You could do it in different, you don't have to do 50 miles straight.
50 fucking miles, bro.
Yeah. Wow. It's fucking badass. I just like doing hard shit, man. I think that develops a different type of character. I like doing hard things. And like I said, I did that marathon. I got to mile 17 in this marathon. I ran, got to mile 17, and I go, holy shit, my body's breaking down. You know what I mean? I didn't eat right for this shit. I've never done this in my life. I don't know what I'm doing. My fucking ankles feel like they're about to blow open. And the only thing that ran through my head was, I cannot go back to my son. After what he just did, and say it was too hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Excuse me, man.
No,
I
you're
just do the crybaby. Funny,
You're good. No, man. Hey, fucking, this is real shit, man.
It is, man.
And I appreciate you being so open with it. And
all good.
I'm sorry.
Nah, don't be sorry, brother. I mean, hey, listen, this is me,
no,
man.
I'm sorry for what you and your family have gone through, because nobody deserves that, man. Like, I don't care who you are, and I think it's a testament to you and your son and your faith and probably everybody that supported you along the way. Yeah. I don't think that there's, much harder things than you can go through than watching your kids have to go through something like that. And I normally don't bring stuff up like this, but I feel like, I think that there is somebody out there, or I hope that the reason why you and I are sitting here crying right now is that there's somebody out there that can take this to heart and could maybe apply it to their life, or maybe in the future. You never know. Like I said, you never know what's coming,
brother.
man. And
you're absolutely right.
I think about it with my kids, and I think that that's why I get so emotional, because I put myself in your shoes, and even though I don't know what that feels like, right? Like having that. I got something out of it. Who knows what I'm going to face. And I've had,
God forbid that, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Cancer is, it affects everybody. We've had guests in here, and we have recurring guests, so I can't wait to have you back already.
Absolutely.
How are we doing on time? Well, we're doing all right. Yeah. Okay. I want to be respectful of your time.
That's all good,
too. Bro. So you let me know when you need to go. But yeah, we've had people like, shout out to, he's actually an MMA coach at a very high level, Mark Montoya, that runs Factory X.
Nice.
Been my friend. He was one of the first guys that has said yes to coming on the podcast. I think he was our 4th episode. We've known each other for years. Comes in here one day, one afternoon, same sort of thing. Next thing you know, I mean, this guy lives a healthy lifestyle. He's on the mat every day. He's in somebody's corner.
Cancer don't give a fuck about anybody.
It does
brother.
not, bro.
Lifestyle's anything, bro.
Yeah, and he just went through it and is in remission now. You know, thank God. But you just never know. You never know when it's going to happen.
Shout out to him and God bless him, man, and his family. Thank God he's in remission.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you really don't know, brother. It's throwing a dart with your eyes closed, and you never know where it's going to hit, man, you know?
Yeah, his was the craziest thing, too. The story behind it is he got stung by a bee and got a staph infection.
Oh, shit.
From, like, a bee sting when he was in Alaska, like, bow hunting, and that's how they found the cancer, like... Wild, like
wow, that was
talk
like
about faith
blessing.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of that faith type thing. How important? Because I've taken this approach with some of my own health, and as much as I trust doctors, and you want to, like, sometimes it takes putting your foot down and being like, no, it's like something's wrong. Like you can feel it in your gut, or when you guys have gone through so many things where it's like, okay, I know my son better than anybody, and there's literally something wrong with his leg. How do you go about, like, just saying, taking no for an answer? Like,
man, I think you gotta trust your instincts. Sorry, you gotta. There's you know, we all have that thing in us. I don't even know how to explain it, you know. And let me tell you something. My son, for a little kid, man, knows his body so well. He knew everything that was going on at every moment. And I'm an optimist, bro. I see the good in everything, and I try to, like, you know, I try to talk the pessimistic side out of me. You know what I mean? Like, no, that's not this. It's trust me, we're good. You know what I mean? Like,
they also call that stupidity.
Yeah, that too. You call me stupid, man, but
I'm just playing.
No, but it's true to a sense, because sometimes I'm over optimistic because I don't want to see that side of it. You know, like,
well, especially if you're a fighter, you're used to dealing with pain, and what you think is not that bad. Like, I know a lot of former, like, military guys that have operated at a very high level, and their threshold for pain is very high. You know, so it's like some of them have gotten themselves in medical situations because they're just not. They're not listening to their body or getting shit checked out. It's like, oh, I'll be fucking fine. I'm tough, you know, like that sort of mentality.
Yeah, but I think when it comes to your kid, like, because I'm like that too. Like, if something's wrong with me, I'll fucking fight it to the end. Going to the doctor or hospital, that's out of the question.
Yeah.
Until, you know, finally green shit or something's coming out of me, you know. But for my kid, nah, it's, you know, you're a father, brother. You know, it's a different type of love. It's unexplainable. It's unconditional. You don't want to see your kid in any type of pain, you know. And again, you know, I'm optimistic, so and he plays sports. So at the beginning, first of all, the last thing you're thinking is you fucking got cancer. You know what I mean? That's I think anybody, because
why would you think that?
And I went to the oncologist when I first got to the hospital. We found out I had cancer. I'm like, hey, look, man, don't get my words twisted. Cause I love this guy. I'm not trying to do anything, but damn, this guy told me it was fucking growing pains. He's like, listen, you know how many kids come into his office and say their leg hurts? How many of them think got cancer? 1 out of a fucking 1,000. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. You know what I mean? It makes sense. You know, because at first I was like, yo, this fucking guy.
Right.
So, you know, he told me it was growing pains.
That was my feeling right away when you told me that, you know, and I guess, yeah.
So you know, that, you know, but again, you know your kid. And you know, he's a doctor. He sees the kid for fucking 20 minutes once every few months. You know, I'm with my kid every day, all day. He lives with me. I that's my guy. So I saw him slowly deteriorating to a sense. I mean, he's fucking getting out of my car at school with his book bag. Now he's limping. I'm like, yo.
Yeah, and if you can't
get back in the car, bro.
Perform at sports practice or whatever.
Yeah. So I got videos of him because he was a quarterback for his flag football team, and he's getting the ball, and they're chasing him for his flag, and he's limping around throwing touchdowns and shit.
Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah, shout out to his coaches at school, man. They now after cancer, his flag football season was back on, and he came off his wheelchair, because he could still hobble around. He just can't walk long distance right now. He's still learning how to walk again. But they put him on a field, and he did 4 plays and threw a touchdown in one of them, man.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's awesome.
Badass.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Super rad.
Yeah.
I'm grateful, you know, that you guys are on the other side of it, and you guys are very fortunate, and thanks for sharing your story, brother, on that. All right, man. We've laughed, we've cried. It's a good fucking podcast. Let's bring it back to what you got going on right now. And
Dude, this marathon's 18 days away.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
No, 7 days after my fight. I fight the 10th.
This is nuts.
Yeah, and the 18th is the marathon, 100 miles.
We've had a couple ultra runners in
I've never
here
done
on
this
the
shit in my life,
podcast.
brother. Yeah,
If you want any sort of coaching or advice, I mean,
it's too late.
Yeah.
It's too late. I'll talk to them after.
You already registered?
Yeah, I'm already registered. Like I said, I just like
Get somebody to rub
do
your
hard
feet
shit.
about mile 25.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Put some fucking band-aids on my nipples. I heard that you get shaved up.
Yeah, no, that's real.
Man,
Make
you
sure
should put
you got your electrolytes, salt.
The
all that.
thumbnail on this podcast should be me and him tearing up.
It might be. Who knows?
Don't worry. I still have control over the editing. They're not gonna get. They ain't making no clips of us crying and bullshit, dude. Like, yeah.
Nah, hey, let me tell you, man,
Matty, if you do that, I mean, this dude has the fastest knockout in combat.
it's all good. That's
sports history.
I got paid for that, brother. I don't fight on the street for free anymore. Anybody can tell me anything they want. Brother, I want to tell you, truly appreciate you having me on, man.
Yeah.
Amazing show you got on. Thank you for bringing it out of me, man. You know what I mean? Honestly.
Absolutely, man.
It's that's what makes not only a good show, man, it makes a good conversation. You know what I mean? We really got to know
I'm
each other.
not doing it for that, man.
I know that.
I could have
I know
given
that.
a fuck if the cameras were on
I know.
at that point. And no disrespect to the audience. I
Yeah.
love you all, but
But that's
like,
what I'm saying.
It's a question I would ask
bigger than
you
that. Right.
if you and I were sitting at the bar or whatever, you know.
Right.
And dude, my hat goes off to you for even sharing that. I think a lot of people just wouldn't show that vulnerability, man. Like I think most people. I think that's where fighters and having some of these guys that have operated at a high level in the military or professional football players is like. You guys wear your emotions on their sleeves. There is no like fucking bullshitting.
Right.
That's why I love having you
We're
guys
human.
on here because you're authentic. You're the most authentic, and I think it's a testament to what you guys face adversity wise and going through the gym is you guys are fucking comfortable with yourself. I mean, you can sit on here and tear up and show your emotions. But then you can also climb into a bare knuckle ring and knock a dude out in a second and a half. You know what I mean? I think it's fucking awesome, man. Like you guys are some of my favorite people to have in, and that's why when Chris reached out, I was like, absolutely, 100%. Like, what you want to do it Monday?
That
And
was
here
great.
you are. So
Yeah.
thank you for saying yes, bro.
Of course, man.
And you're welcome back anytime, man.
Thank you.
Let's bring back that belt.
Yeah, I will. I will. I'll bring
or
back the
before
belt.
the belt anytime. I don't care, belt or not, dude. You're welcome anytime,
Thank you.
podcast
Thank
or
you.
not.
Thank you, but God willing,
The
I'm bringing
family.
back that belt over here.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. And then, you know, let's go ahead. Let's take a few minutes before we jump off here. What do you got coming up? You obviously have this.
Yeah.
50, you're gonna go run 50 miles after
Yeah.
your win on the 10th,
Yeah, it's a
right?
100-mile race. I'll be running
Okay.
50 of the miles. What I got coming up now here in Denver, Colorado, at the Stockyard Event Center is May 10th. I'll be fighting bare knuckle.
Okay.
It's a title eliminator. When I win this fight, I'll be fighting for the world title next. That's what I got on the schedule. That, and then 7 days later, I'll be running, half of 100 miles.
And is this marathon for something specific?
No,
or
man.
is
It's
it
just like I said, I like to
just
do
to
hard
do it?
shit, man.
Yeah.
I listen. There'll be a time in life where you can't do shit anymore, and you'll look back and say, "I did the things." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I want to do the things, man. I want to say I tried all this hard shit, and
What a
and,
beautiful spot to run, though, too, man. Like,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
that's
It's fucking
cool.
paradise.
Yeah.
I'm running through paradise.
So what do you have to do, like right after your fight? So you're dieting, you're training, you're starving yourself, right? The
I'm dieting
all the way up to the fight, and then right after that, what are you gonna do?
Right
to
after that,
prepare
so I
yourself?
fight the 10th. It's Sunday is Mother's Day, so I'll be flying to Cleveland, Ohio to go see my mother-in-law and spend time with my in-laws, which I love. They're the most amazing people in the world. I get back a couple days later, take my wife to dinner. And then a couple days later, I'll be driving to the Keys to go run this shit, man. You know what I mean? Eating some bananas and apples and fucking
and eating.
It's it. Just trying to I honestly I don't. I've always been like this too when it comes to fighting as well. Like I don't fucking let's not like think this shit over too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, yeah, you can fucking game plan, and this guy does this and that, and then you get in there and it's a whole different guy, and he doesn't do what you expected him to do. You know what I mean? And then what? Then you're fucking stuck. You know what I mean? No, just go in there. and go with the flow, man. Just
Everybody
ride the
has a
waves,
game
bro.
plan until they get punched in the mouth,
Exactly,
right? Isn't that
exactly.
old Mike Tyson?
Exactly.
line or
It's a
something?
great one, man. You know what I mean? So I just want to do the things, man. I want to be. I want to leave a legacy. I want my kids to be proud, and you know, I just want them to look back and listen. This right here, this conversation we had is gonna live in the fucking the internet for forever, brother. You know what I mean? So when my son's our age, like, you know what? Was that my fucking dad? Well, I never saw his podcast, you know, and listen to this and be like, damn, look at my dad crying
So
about what happened
cool.
when I was 10.
Yeah.
You know, and telling the story. And again, like you said,
What would you tell him at that point when he's 50 and listening to this, or like what advice?
well,
'Cause that's a good one, man.
Yeah,
that's
but-
a hard one too.
What would I tell when he's 50?
Yeah.
Be hard to tell him anything. He'd
or
figure
your
it out
age.
by then. Yeah. You know, I just like I
Okay,
said,
at any point then. Yeah.
honestly, I don't think I'd tell him too much. I just I like leading by example. Just live the right way as much as I can. Along the way, if he tries things, you know, we talk about everything. You know, we talk about drugs, we talk about alcohol, we talk about whatever. You know, hopefully none of that stops him. You know, along the way. You know, because again, we've all tried it. You know, and we're here doing a lot better things. But some people try it and it fucking grabs them by the nuts and you never see them again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just want to lead by example, man, and do the right things and do the hard things and show them that it takes hard work to do anything, whether it's, you know, talking behind a mic or fighting inside a ring. It takes hard work, man. It takes dedication. It takes consistency. It takes accountability. And be that guy. Be a man of your word, brother. You know what I mean? That's it. I'm going to be here on Monday at 4 o'clock. I'm going to be here fucking Monday at 4 o'clock.
You were here at 3:40.
Yeah, I'm an early bird, man. Lucky I wasn't earlier. I didn't know that far. We're at Chubby's down on 38th.
Okay.
My son was eating, my son was eating a burrito.
Hell yeah.
And then for some reason it wasn't popping up there. So now I got worried. I'm like, well, shit, I don't know how far it is.
I love it, man.
But yeah, man, just do the things, live the life, man. Be accountable and be a good person, man. You know, be a good person. Carry that with you. And I want to shout out a couple people, if you don't mind.
100. Take as much time as you want, dude. We have all the time in the world. For
Shout
you,
out to Genesis Training Center for bringing me in, man. Those guys that opened the door to me and made me feel like family and have been coaching me. Shout out to My Fit Foods Denver. Those guys opened the door to me, gave me a few meals, and are making me making weight easy for me. So thank you for that. Thank you to Chris Camozzi for putting this together and opening all those doors as well. He hooked me up with the gym and the food. Chris is an amazing guy, legend himself, royalty in fighting.
I'd love to have you and Chris sit here
That'd
at
be
the
fucking
same
great.
time.
That'd
Would
be great.
badass.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I would love to. You know, shout out to BYB for his great promotion. Amazing with their fighters. Thank you for everything they're doing for me. Accident Medical Group, Team Lust, and all my sponsors, man. You know, the fire sprinkler guy. Who else we got?
We got a fire sprinkler guy?
Yeah,
Sure,
that's my guy since we were kids, man. He
Hell
wanted to sponsor me. He's been. I actually told him, "Are you sure?" Yeah. So we've been making some content together.
Dope.
He puts fire sprinkler systems together, and you know what? Since we hooked up, he's got some business. So God bless him.
Hell yeah.
And thanks to everybody that just, you know, watches and keeps up, and even thank you to the haters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they're watching too.
Of course they are.
It's fuel
All
to
right,
the
brother.
fire.
Well, should we wrap it up on that note?
Yes,
then?
sir. Yes,
All
sir.
right, man.
Yeah.
Thanks again for your time.
Absolutely.
Good luck at your fight.
Thank you.
Or go kick some ass, whatever you say. I don't ever really
Break
say
his
good
leg.
luck. Yeah. Yeah. And hopefully I'll make it down there, man. I'd love to come see it in
That'd be great,
person.
brother.
And if you need anything, any support, any suggestions for the kids want to hang out. You know,
Well,
sounds
I'm
like
here. I'm here for
my
the next
son-
week and a half. So we'll
my
make
son
something
and your son probably cut from the same sort of cloth.
that'd
so
be cool.
That's cool, man.
Let's do it.
All right. Thank you, brother.
Thank you,
Appreciate
brother.
you,
Yes,
man.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yep.
Thank
All
you.
right, let's
Jeremy,
go.
thank you and happy birthday, brother.
Thanks,
yes,
man.
sir. Yes, sir.
Jeremy,
Appreciate
thanks
that.
for being here. Happy
Fuck yeah.
birthday, buddy.
Fuck yeah, day one.
All right.
Awesome.
Thanks for listening to the Mountainside Podcast. If you haven't had a chance to do this already, please take a moment, follow, like, subscribe, or rate on whatever platform you catch the Mountainside Podcast at. If you'd like some more information on upcoming episodes, safety tips, access to all of our affiliates, and all the badass discounts that we get here at the Mountainside Podcast, check out themountainsidepodcast.com.